Welcome to the Elusive History Podcast. You found us. We are a hard-to-find history podcast. Harder to find than an excuse for the shit you did in your 20s.
I'm your host, pattern chaser and capybara enthusiast, Lyndsay Burnett.
And I'm your other host, soap maker and passenger princess, Levi Van Scoik.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much for joining us on this lovely saga that we've been doing so far.
Yeah, we've been doing research on this one for 4 or 5 ever?
5 ever.
Yeah. But it really hurt my feelings to find out that South Park had actually covered what we were talking about. Like, had I known that there was a South Park episode that I could have just watched and been like, oh, I got all the information right there.
Right. So if you guys want to skip our podcast on this and just go watch South Park, you absolutely can. But since you're already here, why don't you join us?
Yeah, join us for our talk on poo-poo paper.
Poo-poo paper.
Besides doing a whole bunch of research, we have been sick as a pack of dogs.
Speaking of poo.
Yeah, speaking of toilet paper.
Gotta love that stuff that goes around that's mysterious and then you're just out for a while.
Yeah, but I mean, we're back. We're here. We're semi-conscious. We have a script.
So we're going to see how it goes.
We have a theme song.
Well, you wrote that theme song.
That's right. We also have a mascot who's currently asleep across the room.
So if you hear snoring, it's neither one of us.
Maybe. Just wait. Just check those sources.
We bore ourselves to death.
Sometimes.
So being sick, we've become all too aware of our toilet paper usage.
That's right.
Which kind of led us down this poo hole, if you will, of how did we get here? Why is this a thing? Why do we do this?
Why do we do this? It's the dumbest thing. So I've been playing a lot of Xbox, trying to figure out what games are cross-platform enabled so I can play with all of my Philistine friends that are PlayStation owners.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's more work than you'd think, actually.
Oh, we've been growing our own microgreens in the kitchen.
We have.
That's pretty cool.
I've completely changed my diet to a vegan diet.
And cut out all sugar.
26 days now.
I'm really proud of you.
15 pounds.
Yeah.
Healthily.
When without a whole bunch of, mental health upsets or anything. She's stayed pretty stable with kicking sugar.
All things considered.
All things considered.
Yeah, so that's a little bit about what we as a married couple have been doing. We're very boring. That's, I guess, why we have this history podcast.
Yeah, it's the only thing that makes us interesting, so we have something to talk about at parties.
We bug each other enough about these topics here in our home, so it's nice to be able to share these topics with you guys as well.
That's right. So at the top of the show, we like to hand out a little existential trigger warning, and this is that. Some of the stuff we cover isn't super good for your mental health, so if you feel like you need to take a break and go touch grass, listen, we get it. Some of this stuff can be pretty rough.
Absolutely. And today on the show, we're going to talk about something we are all familiar with. That's right. Today on the show, we're going to talk about something we are all familiar with. At least here in this country, that is. Well, maybe England. Today, we're talking about toilet paper. Tell me, Levi, are you familiar with toilet paper?
You mean shit tickets?
Yeah.
American calligraphy paper?
Oh, well.
Crapper wrappers?
Oh, that's yeah.
Trail of Tears?
Okay, you got the idea.
Tex-Mex term papers?
Okay, yeah.
After coffee comment cards?
Okay, come on, we get the idea.
Caca coupons. Stool statements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're pretty familiar with
it.
Yeah.
I'm aware of it.
But did you know that it's actually one of the most toxic substances on planet Earth? And one of the last things you want to clean your gentle little balloon knot with?
No. Actually, one of the last things I want to clean my gentle little balloon knot with would be like a sticker bush or broken glass. But it's probably a close second to toilet paper.
Okay, but turns out toilet paper isn't just the worst thing you can wipe with. It's also one of the worst things to ever happen to the environment.
Oh, goody.
Yes, we're going down a wonderful trail of fun and no.
Right down the crapper.
This is going to be a 3-ply story this week. The first ply, we will be talking about how bad toilet paper is for the human body.
Love the pun, by the way.
Thank you. And we're going to explore why we use the stuff in the first place. And in the second ply, you like that?
I do.
In the second ply, we will be talking about the devastation this poo paper has caused our planet. And in the third ply...
Ooh, fancy.
Ooh, all the way up to the cushy stuff. That's right. We'll be discussing the link between PFAS, toilet paper, and the food we eat that it poisons.
3-ply? Damn, we fancy this week. I put 3-ply toilet paper in the same group as the Loch Ness Monster. What I mean is I've heard people talk about it, and I've seen the pictures, but I've never actually seen it with my own eyes. So I guess I'm like a cryptoplyologist. Yeah, that sounds right.
Sure, yeah. Absolutely, a cryptoplyologist. We're on the hunt.
Always on the hunt.
It must be in those rich people houses. That's
Probably.
what it
I
is.
have never seen it. Just like that's where they're keeping all the Sasquatches. What's the plural for Sasquatch?
Sasquatches? No.
Sasquatches?
I don't speak French. I don't know.
No, don't do it.
So, back to the toilet paper saga.
Back to the shit tickets. Or wait, I have a better one than shit tickets.
Do you?
Mountain money?
Oh, man.
Shame paper?
Okay, that's good.
The roughest draft?
On the roughest draft, over the millennia, humans have wiped our bare buns with a myriad of different things. Some of them kind of make sense, while others seem like a good way to get information out of somebody.
Oh my god.
For instance, in Roman times and before, humans used rounded pumice discs to wipe with.
Fuck no.
Nah, which sounds like something you would see in a Saw movie.
I think I'd rather be waterboarded. Didn't
Yeah.
they used to also write the names of their enemies on those same discs when they're wiping their...
Yeah, the same stones that you use to grind the calluses away on your feet. Yeah, they put the name of their enemies in there and just went wipe it.
And just as a callback to our first couple episodes where we're talking about curses, this is that.
That's the ultimate curse right
It is. Shit on you. I wipe my ass with your name.
there. Shit on thee.
How dare you?
So we also used to use a sponge with a stick.
That actually sounds kind of nice.
It does, kind of, yeah. Moss,
Ooh.
rags,
Okay.
leaves, really anything that seemed nice and also convenient.
Right, because, when you're out in the middle of nowhere, I don't know, I've heard people use round rocks, like river stones.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah.
But here in the United States, before ass paper showed up, we used corn cobs.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. They would leave them in warm water, leave them soaking, which would make them soft. And then when you were done, they would just, throw the cobs out to the pigs or chickens or whatever.
Actually, that sounds kind of nice. As somebody that has been around corn cobs. I mean, I've never wiped with one, but that sounds pleasant.
I'd never wiped with one, but I do have to say it brings a whole new meaning to the corn cob pipe.
Well, you probably wouldn't use that. Wait. Well, I don't
know. I mean...
But also they threw it to the pigs and chickens.
Yeah.
Charlotte's Web is getting dark.
The circle of life. Yeah. So for hundreds of years or so, the cob was the bomb. And then Sears catalog came
Hell yeah,
around.
Sears and Roebuck.
The Sears catalog was this thick encyclopedia of things that you could buy through the mail. In its day, the Sears catalog was its own cultural marvel. Mm-hmm. I mean, things like tractors, kits to build your own house, dishes, clothes, toys, you name it.
So I actually grew up in Tonopah, Nevada, which was separated. It was like three hours to anywhere. And I grew up with the Sears catalog.
3 hours to anywhere. And that was in your time.
Right.
We're not even talking, back in minor days.
Right. So I actually have a little experience. Like, we did all of our Christmas shopping through the Sears catalog.
Did you?
Yeah, like our grandparents would hand us the catalog and be like, pick what you want. And
wow.
My grandma would also get clothes patterns and fabric to make her own clothes out of the Sears catalog.
Okay.
You could buy, build your own boats, like do it yourself boat building kits. What is the craziest things I've seen? It was like Sky Mall before Sky Mall was a thing.
So here the whole time when we're doing the research on this, and I'm like, oh yeah, my grandparents used to talk about that, and you're like, yeah, you didn't share that story.
Well, I also don't like to tell people that I grew up where the hills have eyes, but also this is accurate.
Yeah.
Like I grew up, my favorite clothing ever was homemade overalls that my grandma and my mom had made. To differentiate me from my little sister, who we looked identical, so we had to have our names on our overalls.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Sears.
I didn't even know what to say to that.
Well, they gave us the same haircut. They didn't really help the situation.
It sounds like abuse.
We kind of looked like the twins from The Shining, but in like Chucky bibballs. It's fine.
Oh, all right. Okay, So it was culturally acceptable to thumb through the Sears catalog on the toilet. Mm-hmm. Well, let's be honest, in the outhouse on the privy.
Oh, man, that's giving me wanting to talk about Appalachian Trail vibes.
Flashbacks!
Flashback!
Well, not with the Sears calendar, but yeah. So
Catalog.
And
it's not the worst C word you could put there.
Hey.
Okay.
So when you were done, you were supposed to find a page or two with stuff nobody wanted to wipe with and do your thing.
So like, well, we're not going to buy any fine china. Let's start from the back of the catalog and move our way forward.
That's too rich for my taste. So to say that the Sears catalog was popular as toilet paper was an understatement.
Oh, yeah.
It would continue on that way until Sears changed their paper from black and white to glossy color.
Which is not the best for cleaning up poop.
Making it terrible. Exactly. Exactly. So now this was either on purpose by the fledgling TP companies or a horrible misstep by Sears.
Yeah.
Either way, it was then that Americans started buying medicated water closet tissue.
Oh, God.
And I know you can't see, but I'm air quoting
And I'm rolling my eyes so hard that I might give myself a concussion.
Not just the name. So the medicated water closet tissue, which was just their hyper fancy term for poop pamphlets.
Nice.
I thought you'd like that. When it first came out, it was 50 cents a roll, which doesn't sound like much for 500 sheets, but that was wildly expensive in the day. In today's money, that would be $20 for a roll.
Wow, which we saw not too long ago during COVID, proving once and for all that there's absolutely nothing new under the sun.
Correct, yeah.
Even today, $20 for a roll of toilet paper. That's insane.
Right, exactly. But in our desperate times, we'd probably pay it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So even the idea of toilet paper was old by the 1800s.
Wow.
As it turns out, the Chinese had been making toilet paper since the 6th century.
Wow.
And a funny twist, it wouldn't be until 1857 that Europeans and Americans would hear of the stuff and have an opportunity to use it.
Didn't they also mass produce toilet paper in the 1400s? China did well before.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I know my shit. Tickets.
Shit tickets. Yeah, they wrote about it too. On different paper though.
On calligraphy paper. Not American calligraphy paper, which so I'm sorry. Let me just go ahead and say the whole idea for that joke is when you're using toilet paper every once in a while, you inexplicably become like a brown marker. Like against your will. I don't think anybody's like, oh man, I can't wait to just draw on the toilet for an hour and a half. Like, that's where the calligraphy paper joke came from.
And I'm laughing because I've spent time working in a certified nursing facility, and there's plenty of calligraphy that goes on there without toilet paper. But yeah. So.
Yeah. Are they not allowed to use toilet paper on living humans? Isn't that what you told me?
I think it's somewhere in the medical papers. Yeah, it's against the law or something. I don't know.
They use rags in the medical field, people. They don't use toilet paper. Let that tell you something.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry to keep going off.
So, yeah, it wouldn't be until 1857 that Europeans and Americans would hear of the stuff and had an opportunity to use it. To be honest, they didn't really have a use for the stuff and saw it as an expensive alternative. So, yeah, I have 17 years of ass wiping experience in the medical field. And let me tell you, washcloths are the way it's done in the hospital. They don't use toilet paper, like he said, on the living. It's inefficient. So when you're cleaning up, we go for something that isn't going to harm the skin, isn't going to break down, isn't going to leave residue.
That's why they have sponge baths, not TP baths, which would be just, I don't know, just inconvenient. The idea of somebody wiping you down with wet toilet paper, like...
It sends my autism into a...
I don't...
Yeah.
don't want it.
Anyways. So during this time, doctors would prescribe the medical water closet tissue to humans suffering with digestive issues. And in this time, reports shared that people actually got splinters from the stuff from time to time.
So again, another Saw movie.
Yeah, and it also, surprise, surprise, making it wildly unpopular.
I mean, if there was a chance that I was going to wind up with, I don't know, Pinocchio toe in my little balloon knot, I wouldn't want it. I just called a splinter a Pinocchio toe. It's fine.
It really brings danger to the medicated part of the medical closet tissue.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, no thank you. So it wouldn't be until the 1930s when a massive cultural shift happened.
Huh. You know what else just happened?
What?
Our lights just flickered.
It's always the lights.
It's all, well, this is Las Vegas. We have a very stable power grid here, but they will let you know when you have not paid your bills. So that's what we're going to do.
We'll be back.
And we're back.
Hello! So, continuing on this saga, you see, during this time, bathroom shame wasn't just invented. It was invented on purpose.
Oh my God.
Yeah, think Mad Men with hemorrhoids. Diabolical and toxic, exactly.
Exactly.
To this very day, the cultural shift towards toilet paper has changed the very way we see bathroom behavior.
Ugh.
Fun note, nobody has ever come up with a standardized amount of toilet paper to use when going to the bathroom.
Yeah, well, I've learned from the Bears on TV.
Which makes sense, because of the marketing.
Right.
Well, that's why your roommate uses an entire roll and you can't use more than 4 sheets at a time or the guilt will swallow you whole.
Yeah, you can tell some people didn't grow up in households where people monitored your toilet paper use. I know.
And it shows.
Yeah, and it shows. You and I both did.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, toilet paper was marketed as a way to manage your shame.
That makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm. It was during this time that they marketed homes with toilet paper as having the civilized lifestyle. And if you went to a home that was still using corn cobs or the Sears catalog, it was supposed to be your job to let them know that they were living a primitive way.
God.
Yeah, isn't that great?
It is super.
Gotta keep up with the Joneses.
It is super.
It didn't take long for the shift to happen. It seems that nothing changes human behavior like peer pressure.
Oh, ain't that for sure.
Before too long, the entire country was using this stuff.
So at one time, there was like a multiple choice answer when you were going to somebody's quote-unquote water closet back in the 30s.
It would appear so, yeah.
Like, all right.
Until they learn the errors of their ways through shame and guilt.
Shame and guilt. And greed. Don't forget greed.
That's the American way.
It really is.
During this time, many people experienced tissue illness. As they switched from the corncob and catalog, things like rashes, irritations, hemorrhoids, and the like.
Oh.
Point of interest here, hemorrhoids were kind of rare before this.
Oh my God.
Same with polyps and fissures. So to handle this, the community came up with salves, lotions, and creams to alleviate this new irritation.
I really hate the word creams. I think that's my moist. When people say medicated creams.
Creams.
Oh God, I can't.
Medicated. Creams. I keep thinking of that guy, beige, creamy.
These creams.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Okay.
So those creams, salves, and lotions still exist today. And just like back then, the only reason they existed is because we shouldn't be wiping with paper.
God. Well, as long as there's like, a cooperative joint greed venture, great.
It all feeds into each other. You're absolutely correct about that.
It's all terrible. Okay.
Aside from the painful irritation, something else horrible happened at this time.
Ugh.
You see, ads went above and beyond to show customers how to use the product.
All right.
Unfortunately, most of this information was marketed to the ladies,
Of course.
leaving men to figure out how to wipe as best they could.
And we don't figure things out well or easy.
No, because your butts are completely different than ours, so yeah. This actually continues to this day. Because of the cultural awareness in how to effectively wipe one's ass, men to this day still have problems wiping. That's right. We have a cameo. Toxic masculinity is on the set.
All right.
Thanks again to the men and media marketing propaganda, men just didn't appear in the ads. In the whole history of TP, it has never been marketed to men.
That makes so much sense. There's so much sense. That's why, okay, I used to have to do laundry in the Navy. And let me tell you, there's plenty of men that just do not know how to wipe their asses. And nobody's really addressed that with them. I don't know how that continues to this day. I have nightmares where I wake up and I think that
The PR campaign has completely been overlooked on this one.
Yeah.
Just think about that for a second. Okay, that's enough.
Thank you.
As if all of that isn't horrifying enough, toilet paper has to go through a bleaching process to make it as white as it is.
Good old chemicals.
And as soft as it is. Pre-1990, the toilet paper companies used chlorine bleach,
Yay.
chlorine dioxide, bleaching powder,
No.
and chlorine gas to get it to the desired softness called elemental bleaching.
Just as a callback, some of those things like bleaching powder and chlorine dioxide, we talked about in our last episode at Love Canal, New York.
Exactly.
These are some of the chemicals that we're talking about that wound up eating away people's shoes.
The ones that I was confused as to how they came about and what they were used for.
Now we know. Turns out.
Here's another side effect. Yeah.
God.
So, this elemental bleaching is very dangerous and very toxic to the human body.
It's a good thing we're wiping with it.
Of course, hey, put it right there where your naughty bits are. After the 1990s, all of the TP companies switched over to using the ECF method.
All right.
Or elemental chlorine-free method to make the paper.
All right.
Which is good. It's good until you find out what science just found out. That's right. The toilet paper is now full of PFAs, or PFAS.
Oh my God. The worst. Oh God.
Yeah. And polyfluorinated substances, i.e. the worst thing that has ever happened to the planet Earth.
Worse than lead. Ugh.
PFAS are nasty little things that you find in things like the creation of Teflon.
Ugh.
They are also called forever chemicals.
All right.
And they just knocked microplastics and lead off the top of the list for the most toxic substances known to man.
So it's great that we're wiping our ass with this. I'm just going to keep on saying that. It's great that we keep wiping our ass.
It's fantastic.
I think it's time that I unveil my alternate brand names for the toilet paper companies.
Yeah, is that time?
It's that time.
Let's hear a couple of alternates.
So instead of Charmin, call it Harmon.
There you go.
Instead of Cottonelle, we could call it Rottenelle. Instead of Quilted Northern, we could do Gilted Northern.
Oh, I like that one.
And then I'll just say Fallen Angel Soft.
To say that PFAS are dangerous is like saying uranium is slightly radioactive.
Slightly radioactive.
Yeah. And every single type and brand of toilet paper tested positive for them.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Teflon on that booty. Ugh.
These cancer-causing byproducts can also cause, besides the aforementioned cancer, fetal complications, liver disease, kidney disease, autoimmune disorders.
Oh, wait, that one's not so bad. Wait, no.
No.
No, that's all bad. I was just trying to put a little bit of levity. Shit.
Yeah, your wife has those. And testicular dysfunction, just to mention a few. And as we covered...
Wait, when they say testicular dysfunction, they don't mean like in the Venture Brothers where they're like testicular torsion where they spin?
Oh!
Because that's the most dysfunctional thing I can think of.
That is highly dysfunctional. I don't think they mean that, but thank you for that visual.
I just hurt myself.
Yeah, I don't even have those, and I'm hurting for you.
Testicular torsion.
Yeah.
Okay.
As we will cover in the second and third ply,
Fancy.
those PFAS are sent to water treatment plants. And then the water and sometimes the solids are used in farming.
Hell yeah, put that poo paper on the plants. God.
So during the pandemic, the toilet paper companies basically had a blank check to do whatever they wanted to.
Of course.
Just a side note, the top 3 TP companies, Procter & Gamble, Kimberly-Clark, and Georgia Pacific, only use virgin wood from Canadian forests.
Oh, God. So you mean the forest that's been on fire most recently?
Yes.
What do they call it? The tree-to-toilet pipeline?
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, basically the boreal forests in Canada go all the way from the East Coast all the way to Alaska.
Coast to coast.
And that's what they cut down to make toilet paper. Like,
see, and I didn't know until doing this,
yeah,
that the people that I was rooting for, the people climbing up in trees to save these ancient trees, was because it's for our butts to be wiped
That's
on.
right.
I was thinking that there's some rich 1%er out there who just really needed a table or some sort of furniture made out of virgin,
don't discount that as well. I mean, that's why some of those old growth redwoods get cut down, is so that people can have boardroom tables.
But the fact that all 3 of the top toilet paper producers use
only those, yeah.
only virgin forest. There is no more virgin forest left in the United States.
No, or North America
Or
for
North
that matter.
America, for that matter.
I think there's something like 9% left.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That is absolutely horrifying.
Well, I mean, I don't want to give you guys a little peek behind the curtain, but I did the research on the next episode, which is the second ply, which is the ecological damage that's happened from toilet paper. And before we get too far into it, it is just the worst story you ever want to hear about. It's terrible.
It's devastating. And the problem with all of these situations that we've found so far is it's not just a one situation, we're here. There's multiple people involved. There's multiple steps. And if you don't learn about those steps, you're not going to know why we are here.
And why the things that are happening are happening.
Precisely. Like, for example, I grew up in a town that was started due to logging.
Oh, yeah, Flagstaff.
Yep, absolutely. And they had a paper mill production plant there.
Oh, one of the most toxic things on the face of this earth.
Right. Side note, didn't even know until doing some research that Flagstaff actually did have a super fund directly linked to the paper production from that town and the chemicals off of that.
This is the look of me not being shocked.
Right, because you understand that. But if we do not look into how things started, why things started, you would think like me, oh, well, they stopped logging there because, well, their trees are no longer sustainable, right? No.
Well, unsustainable isn't the word for it. Like, tree-pocalypse comes close. Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one. That's a really, really good one. Anyways, so toilet paper shouldn't be flushed. That's another thing we need to talk about.
Oh, God, yeah.
Exactly. Toilet paper has more than just PFAS in it. As a matter of fact, it has a whole butt ton of chemicals.
Nice.
You like that?
I did.
Whole butt ton of chemicals that are almost as dangerous. When TP gets flushed into the sewers and septic tanks, it can actually kill the good bacteria we use to break waste down and keep it to manageable levels.
Damn it.
Right. Probably the only thing worse than TP are flushable wipes.
Yes.
Which, since their invention, have caused massive amounts of damage to our wastewater infrastructure.
We could do an entire episode just on those.
We could.
Yeah.
They actually help to cause a thing I have become obsessed with. Fatbergs.
Oh, gross.
Absolutely disgusting. Which, like a big old iceberg in the sewers, made of fat and other undigestible sewer stuff.
Oh, that sounds like a villain origin story just waiting to happen.
Yeah. Oh. They plug up entire pipes and can accurately be described as horrifying and smells like death. Not that it's important to the story, I just wanted to use the word fatberg.
Oh, we're going to use fatberg as often as we can. That is my new favorite. That's my new favorite word.
Fatberg ahead.
Fatberg ahoy. Insert
boat noise. I meant wah
Oh, you mean like a foghorn?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm not doing that on a podcast.
Okay, all right. Makes sense.
Oh, it's in my contract.
So aside from the deforestation, toilet paper is devastating to the environment in ways that you don't expect.
Oh my God.
For instance, it takes 37 gallons of water to make one single roll of toilet paper.
All right.
Now, I've heard people say they are hesitant to use bidets because of the water they use. Let me just set the record straight.
Yeah, on the record.
In one single year, the average human uses 5,217 gallons of water just on toilet paper.
Wow.
And that's before adding in all of the flushes required for that toilet paper.
Oh my God. So that's 5,217 gallons before flushing.
Before flushing.
Before flushing.
Before it ever touches the water ever.
That's, well, I mean, we could probably double or triple that if people like believe in the courtesy flush. Oh. Right. What? So like, oh my God, that's a nightmare. So, okay.
Right. So with those numbers in mind, putting bidets up against toilet paper, bidets win hands down on every single point.
And you don't get poop on your hands.
Right. Not only do they get your butthole cleaner than TP.
Hell yeah.
But they also don't irritate the delicate tissues.
So delicate.
Does not contain any more chemicals than your average tap water, which is still not super good, but is way better than TP.
Yeah, way better than TP. Wow. Oh my God.
It's definitely way less bleach on your butthole, that's for certain.
Speak for yourself.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. I don't use bleach water for my butthole
neither
cleaning.
do I. Anyways, Now this wasn't supposed to be a long-ass bidet advertisement, but listen, they are superior in every way to using toilet paper.
That's right.
There is a reason that the rest of the world chooses bidets. Not only are they better for the environment, but they're also better for the human body.
Yep.
They're cleaner, they're more effective, and last but not least, they don't add any more PFAS to the environment.
No more PFAs.
Right. For that, I would say it really isn't a choice when you look at it like that. So we'll be getting a bidet as soon as possible.
I fully agree. So this is where I actually did research, was this part of the bidets, because, I don't know, she just told me that that's what I had to do. So
the honey-do list continues.
yes. So the word bidet actually is French for little horse, because it looks kind of like riding a little horse.
Oh my gosh, I could see that, yeah.
So Marie Antoinette, Miss Let Them Eat Cake, was reported that she had a favorite bidet that like was celebrated. It was gold and like had like jewels and shit on it.
Okay.
Right. But anyway, the important thing to remember is bidets, or little horses, and chamber pots, which is where you basically pooped into like a Kool-Aid pitcher or peed into it.
Like a commode, but with wood.
Well, that's actually where the word commode comes from. But anyway, so they were in the bedroom with you. So, like, you just get up in the middle of the night, you know, drop a deuce, and then just get on the bidet.
That makes sense.
Right. Well, so after a while, they took the bidet out of the bedroom, put it into the bathroom.
Into the water closet.
Right. Now, this is when you get, like, a cultural shift. During World War I and World War II, U.S. GIs and British troops would be stationed all around Europe, and that's when they had access to bordellos and houses of ill repute. And those places almost always had bidets. So one of the reasons why bidets never picked up here in the U.S. is because culturally, if you knew what a bidet was, that also meant that you had been in a brothel.
Oh, the shame.
Yeah, so that's why American GIs who had used the bidet in, like, I don't know, France or whatever, came home and they're like, no, I don't even know what a bidet is. I've never seen one. Never once in my life.
Horrified shock, grasping of pearls. Oh, no. And that makes so much sense.
And then that continued on here. Pre-1950s, there were communal toilets, like places where you...
For real?
Yes. You could go and relieve yourself, but there wasn't like doors or stalls. It was wild.
So it was a lot like Roman times.
A lot like Roman times. And they started talking about bringing bidets over here, but as soon as they did, there was that cultural idea that the shame of knowing what a bidet was meant that you knew what a prostitute was. And that was...
God forbid we know what that is.
And if you had a bidet in your house, it said that you were in fact running a brothel.
Oh my... Just by having a good cleanliness tool,
right?
You'll repute yourself.
That's right. They were like, It's horseshit.
The way we shame is wild.
But the fact that this actually happened, like, so most of the world...
Horseshit.
Have a bidet in your house.
Sorry, I had to go back. My brain just went, wait, what did
What
you say?
did you say?
That is some real horseshit right there.
It is.
Oh, wow.
So most of the world uses some form of bidet. Some form of like a... Most of the countries I've been to use like that little kitchen sprayer for your sink.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the bathroom, the shower, and the toilet are the same thing.
Right. But that shame is continued because when COVID happened,
That's right.
I know you weren't there to witness it, but my mother and I were having a conversation when there was the TP shortage. And I'm like, Mom, the rest of the world basically just uses water to clean your ass. And she clutched her pearls. She doesn't wear pearls, but she grabbed her chest and she was horrified. She's like, I'm not a heathen. I would never do that.
I would never.
And
How dare
honestly,
you.
that got me thinking all the way 4 years ago. Why do we do this? How?
That's why.
Why?
That's one of the reasons why. Yeah.
But shame still continues to keep us
Right.
from doing things that are healthy for us because, oh my God, what will the neighbors think? Like, that is wild to me. When the majority of the rest of the world doesn't have the same sort of health problems
Right.
as us, doesn't have the same mental problems.
Right?
But God forbid we do anything that might be wildly out of the way because it helps us. What on earth?
Toilet paper is just, it's nasty stuff. Bathroom shame is nasty stuff. And here's the other thing that's funny. If you are an adult in this country, in the U.S., you are going to experience hemorrhoids at some point in your life.
True
The
story.
fact that people do not talk about it, like that we don't know culturally that everybody's got like the itchiest butthole after a certain amount of time, like that fact that there's a secret illness out there that nobody's talking about that everybody has because of this bathroom shame.
It almost borders on cult shit.
It does.
Don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it.
It doesn't exist. Even though everybody's experiencing and hurting from it.
That's
Shh,
right.
don't talk about
That's
it.
right.
It's craziness.
Like you see all the rise of all these GI issues, like all of these digestive issues, your diverticulitis, your Crohn's disease. I'm not saying that it's connected.
Autoimmune disorders.
Right. The fact that we're not talking about why some of these things are caused or the irritation caused by, like, if you have Crohn's disease and you have to use toilet paper, you're setting yourself up for like more pain in the future.
Over and over again.
Right. And that's why these illnesses are just, I don't know. It's shameful to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about it at polite dinner conversation, but everybody should be talking about this stuff.
It's a greed-filled Ouroboros.
It really
just
is.
continues over and over again.
So Ouroboros is a snake eating its own tail, just real quick, in case you don't know what Ouroboros means. Anyway.
And the cycle just continues.
Yeah.
Until we somehow become wise of what's happening and stop it, we just continue this madness.
Well, I'm predicting that we're going to see a rise in bidet use any day now.
Good.
With the rise of Tushy, Hello Tushy, and like the ability for you to get a bidet for like $40 on Amazon.
Right.
Like, you think about that for just a second. How much is a roll, like the big pack of toilet paper that you get at Sam's Club with the bears and shit on
Oh,
it?
God. Almost $30, something like
Right.
that. Yeah.
Like, a bidet is only going to run you about $40, and then
You're done.
you're done.
Right.
Like, you don't have to keep buying bidets every month.
Right.
The amount of money you would save is just astronomical, and on top of saving the environment.
Exactly. And by the way, we are not sponsored by anybody. This is just from the research
Right.
we found.
But that being said, Hello Tushy, if you want to cut us a hot check.
We would love to hear from you.
My name is very complicated to spell. So just, hey, get at me.
We write it in every podcast note, though, so you
Right,
can spell
right.
it. It's okay.
It's got 11 letters, and it's got every vowel but O and U. Yeah.
All that aside, I do
Yeah.
have to say that I am very proud to see the rise in bidets here in America.
Absolutely.
Being that I spent so long working in the medical field, and I did see so many hemorrhoids
Yeah.
in patients.
Polyps, fissures.
Fissures. And the thing is it's just passed off in the medical field like, meh, it happens. That's what it is. And it's crazy to me that we don't ever really look deeper into any of these issues.
I mean, how much back pain is caused by people that are trying to adjust to not sit on, like Like, we have lumbar support. We have chairs that are specialized. We have all these things, except we don't want to talk about the issue of why.
Right.
Yeah.
Because greed.
Yeah.
You can make money off of those things if the people aren't any more aware.
Yeah, like your creams and salves and lotions.
Precisely. So if you stopped using the toilet paper, you wouldn't have the needs for the creams, the salves, the medicated wipes, the special pants, whatever.
Yeah, from everything I'm understanding from reading and watching videos about bidets, like the only byproduct is having to use a towel to dry yourself off with.
Which, oh no.
Oh no.
That means you're just even more clean. Anyways.
Whew. Oh my God.
You know what?
Did the Wi-Fi just flicker? See, it wasn't the lights that time. There's a Wi-Fi flickered.
Yes, that one.
Okay.
Okay, fine. We'll be back after paying some bills.
And we're back.
Hello.
Take care of that, you flickering Wi-Fi.
Well, now that we're back, I think it's time to do our karma for this week's episode.
Suggestion box.
Every week we like to give karma some suggestions.
Lift up to karma's gaze. So that they might take the injustices of the world and provide the appropriate amount of karma.
That one.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
This week, I will be imploring on karma to go after the bright bulb that decided to change the way we wipe by changing the Sears catalog from simple black and white
Bastard.
to Technicolor gloss paper. Because you tried to add all the extra shit, may you live a boring next life. No Technicolor involved.
Oh, snap. Okay.
I mean...
Karma, if you are listening, please make it so that whoever was in charge of quality control when the splintery toilet paper was being made winds up with the worst case of toilet paper illness.
Oh.
And please make their arms too short to do anything about it. Yeah. Yeah. So you can't even put on creams and salves. This week, I would like to point karma's attention to Dr. Kavahoda.
For the positive.
Yeah. For the positive, this week, I would like to point karma's attention to Dr. Kavahoda. Am I saying that correctly?
Dr. Hoda!
Anyways, Dr. Kava hosts a podcast called The House of Pod. He's also my favorite GI doctor.
Yes, he is. True story.
Yes. He is funny, knowledgeable, and he can fucking shred on guitar.
Yes, he can.
If I had to go in for a colonoscopy, he would be my first, last, and only pick. That being said, if you're listening, please make it so that he goes through a mildly radioactive trauma that gives him the ability to see through people.
What?
So that he can, diagnose issues, like making him a living colonoscopy device.
Radioactive trauma? Come on, the man's been through enough.
Mildly radioactive. Mildly?
Like stubbing a toe?
Well, we're not talking Daredevil level, chemical radioactive. We're talking I don't know, maybe not a radioactive spider either. Radioactive toilet paper should give him the ability to see inside of people to help them. Karma, make it so.
Make it so. Good karma this week. I would like to send good karma to the ER doctor on TikTok who explained that sugar can fix a prolapsed anus or hemorrhoids. See, I spent 17 years working in the medical field and saw my fair share of hemorrhoids, and not once had I ever heard of sugar helping in such a way.
That's what that whole Def Leppard song is about.
Pour some sugar. Oh, sir. See, now you tell me.
Now you tell me.
Now you tell me.
Nobody tells you this stuff until you get into your 40s.
Karma.
That's probably what it's about. I don't know for sure.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Probably. Karma for sharing with the world this sweet, sweet fix for a painful situation. May the ER doctor who went on TikTok to share this be blessed with sweet rewards every day till he passes from this world. So let it be.
So let it be. I don't know why, but my brain started wanting to talk about cavities right there.
Wrong cavity.
Well, yeah.
Wrong cavity.
What? Wrong cavities. Wait.
Sorry.
Sugar causes cavities in the mouth, but cures cavities in the... Wait.
You're going too deep with it.
Fine. Hey, just so you know, okay, sugar, if you have hemorrhoids, apparently it'll make your hemorrhoids go away. Mm-hmm. Also, if you have a brain freeze, I talk about this a lot in my book.
You do?
Space Otters told me this. If you have brain freeze, you can put your tongue on the roof of your mouth totally gets rid of your brain freeze.
Which, by the way, please go check out his book. It's anywhere books are sold.
Yeah, the Treaty of the Coil and the yeah.
Yeah, and book 2.
No. So yeah, it's the Treaty of the Coil is book 1, and then the Wrath of the Coil is book 2.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
All available where books are sold.
And I mean, where they're not sold. I mean, you could find like a carrier pigeon.
Maybe barter your way through.
I accept pigeons. If a pigeon came to my door with an order for a book, look, I'm not even going to charge you shipping and handling
On the house.
Right. Well, because of that's going to be a really tired pigeon. Like, 'cause I'm just going to put scraps of paper in my whole book.
But not toilet paper.
I don't know, for thrust and lift, like to keep that center of balance, we might have to go with toilet paper. So we're going to kill a bunch of pigeons, is what I'm saying. with
That
PFAS.
went dark. That went dark so fast.
Yeah, Mike Tyson's going to hear about it, and then we're going to be in trouble. Well, we live in Vegas, and so does he. So.
And pigeons.
Well,
anyways.
Yeah. Wow. That was a lot.
That was a lot. Make sure that you join us next week because we got
week
the
for the
2
second ply.
Yeah, second ply.
Which I will be doing the whatever, my part of the job. What did you hire me for?
You're doing it right now.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yes! Job achieved. Okay.
So we made it.
We made it.
Yeah, tune in next week like we said. As always, keep your head on a swivel out there. It's dangerous.
And make sure when you find your history, it's elusive.